My experience with Mario Kart Super Circuit. Yep. It's good to be back fucking talking about another Mario Kart. Another one. First, we talked about Mario Kart 8 for a little bit, Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, and now we're talking about Super Circuit, which, in my opinion, Mario Kart Super Circuit, it's an okay Mario Kart. You know, like, it's an actual okay Mario Kart. Single player, multiplayer. Regardless, it is a pretty cool Mario Kart, like, experience, right? You know, you got your one-player game, you know, your typical Mario GPs, aka, like, the usual Grand Prix. You got your time trials, you got your quick run. Now, again, Mario Kart time trials are kind of fun, in my opinion, like the early Mario Kart time trials. Because you're not worried about trying to beat, like, the ultimate score. You're just trying to do good for yourself, right? And usually that's how people's mindset in terms of time trials are. You know, I pretty much obviously have a bad perception of Mario Kart time trials because of the whole, the whole thing with stuff, okay? The whole thing with stuff. And I don't know, just Mario Kart, you know, time trials in Mario Kart, they're fun, but, you know, I obviously have a bad perception of them due to multiple different things, like Crash Bandicoot time trials and other time trials in other games where you're racing against the time to get the best time. Yes, you are doing that in Mario Kart, but for me, in any Mario Kart game, the time trial is basically being timed against yourself, pretty much. That's what. And I don't remember Quick Run as a mode. I don't think I ever did it as a mode, funny enough. And again, we have our typical CCs, 50, 100, and 150, which each of these CCs, they're actually pretty okay, pretty standard. Pretty standard Mario Kart stuff. Of course, 150 is going to be your fastest and stuff. And, by the way, I love... yes, the roster did kind of downsize again because, like I said, Mario Kart Super Circuit is pretty much like a downgraded version of Mario Kart 64, which you can see it within the character models, or aka the sprites of the characters models that they use is just ripped from Mario Kart 64. The sound effects too for some of them is just straight up ripped from Mario Kart 64. Like, I mean, the track does. Oh god, it's think of Mario Kart 64, one of the peaker ones, and think of Super Mario Kart, and like fuse the two. That's what Super Circuit like is in a nutshell. If you want me to get right down to it, like it really does just feel like Mario Kart 64 with the character sprites, and then with the track design, which I'm gonna get into. Right? Is all a flat plane again. We went back to being flat. But is it as hurtful on the eyes as Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart is? In my opinion, no, because everything is more smooth. Like the sprites are more smooth, and the only thing I would probably say is pretty jagged about Mario Kart Super Circuit is probably like some of the track design. Like the controls are tight. Like when playing this motherfucking game, I actually had a way more fun time because they weren't as loose as Super Mario Kart's controls. Because like the controls in this game are just obviously going to be way better. And honestly, you can put this game with like you can show a friend, right? This might be weird, but you can show a friend this game and tell them this is the second Mario Kart, and they would probably immediately believe you because, like, oh, look, the tracks are still flat. That's kind of reminded me of Super Mario Kart, you know, and the characters got updated, though, so this is like a more updated version of Super Mario Kart. And essentially, you can say it is like an updated version because, like I said, they are, like, mixing Super Mario Kart 64 a little bit with Super Mario Kart, and they kind of make this child Mario Kart right here. And I actually have a few stories of me going back in the past and playing this. My buddy, he had a Game Boy SP, a Game Boy Advance SP, and he actually had Mario Kart Super Circuit on there, and he would allow me to play Mario Kart Super Circuit, and I remember having a blast just being able to take Mario Kart on the go, because keep this in mind, Mario Kart Super Circuit, before Mario Kart 7, before Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like with the Switch and the 3DS and the DS, literally this was the first ever Mario Kart on the go. So imagine all those fucking fun matches and fun races you guys had in this game, Mario Kart Super Circuit, on the go. Like, it's actually pretty cool getting to play this game on the go, like, even if it is old and stuff like that. And yes, I know there's no 200s, so none of the new kids that play Mario Kart 8 and only know 8 are going to really enjoy Super Mario. I mean, is there something to, in 2024, is there something Mario Kart Super Circuit, I keep saying Super Mario Kart Super Circuit can do better than other Mario Karts? And to answer this question, because there's a lot of people in here, not really. Like, other Mario Kart games are clearly better than this one. Like, obviously this one has the coin gimmick with the 15 coins or whatever coins, so you can, like, drive faster and so on and so forth. But there's not really, like, a lot of things Mario Kart Super Circuit does that's even better than 64, in my opinion. 60, because, like, if you look back, right, in terms of all the Mario Karts compared to Super Circuit, Super Mario Kart introduced the entirety of the idea of kart racers. That's why that one is legendary, right? And it also not only brought Mario to kart racing, but it also introduced the whole fucking genre in general, right? So that's what Super Mario Kart did, the very first one. The second one, Mario Kart 64, introduced that and gave it like a whole new vibe. Put Mario in a kart racer and gave it a whole new vibe, right? Like, it put Mario Kart in the third dimension for the very first time. That's what makes Mario Kart 64 so special, is the 3D tracks. Everything is 3D. There's no flat level design like Super Mario Kart, or to make your eyes hurt, or so on and so forth, or slippery controls. Mario Kart 64 also has very tight controls. Something that Super Circuit also has is tight controls, tight gameplay, and 3D environments. That's what makes this game special, right? 64. Then we get to Super Circuit. What does it actually do from the last two games previously that makes it stand out? Almost nothing. It just combines Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario Kart and says, boom, it's on the go now. That's pretty much what Mario Kart Super Circuit is. And then Mario Kart games after Super Circuit, like Mario Kart DS, Super Circuit, the one thing Super Circuit did do, I felt like when they made that Mario Car Crash, or Car Cash, they went a bit overboard with the blood and detail they put into bone snapping. What the fuck? Steve Jobs, what are you talking about? But anyways, right? Let's talk about another Mario Kart example. So, like, the next Mario Kart after this, which I think was DS. And DS, oh man, Mario Kart DS brought a multitude of things why it's considered a fucking GOAT. It had boss battles. It had, in comparison to Super Circuit, it had boss battles. It had challenge modes. It had almost everything. And you can say like Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart, I think, Double Dash, and then Mario Kart 8 are the ones that, like, really kept the franchise going. The ones that are, like, kind of mid, you know, or kind of didn't really do too much for the Mario Kart series in general is Super Circuit and Mario Kart 7. I know Mario Kart 7 introduced the kite gliding mechanic and stuff like that, but Mario Kart 8 introduced the gravity, the first Mario Kart to have DLC, and so on and so forth, right? And then let's just go back to this game right here. By the way, I'm using modern XP's footage for this. And then you look at this game, right? And again, tight controls is great. The coin gimmick is great. And some items in here that aren't in other Mario Kart games is great. But again, you just can't argue with... You can't argue with the fact that this game doesn't have really any crazy major gimmick or anything that's really better than other Mario Karts. You can't really say anything. And I don't want to hear something about certain tracks not being in Mario Kart 8, because even if the tracks from this game aren't in Mario Kart 8, it wouldn't really matter all too much, because some of these tracks are in Mario Kart 8. So you can't really tell me, like, you would prefer this flat level design in terms of track design than Mario Kart 64's 3D environment design. Or Mario Kart 7's, or Mario Kart Wii's, or Double Dashes. And I know that's a little unfair to compare flat to 3D. But, like, it's right fucking there, man. You know what I mean? It's right there in terms of gameplay. And the game pretty much plays the same, like, as other Mario Karts, too. Like, you have your 50, you have your 100, and you have your 150. I don't think they introduced 200 in this game. I can't remember which game they introduced 200. I think Mario Kart 8 was the game, or it's either 7 or 8 is where they introduced 200cc. But you see what I mean? Like, this game doesn't bring too much to the Mario Kart table, because usually that's what Mario Kart and Mario Party are supposed to do in terms of being fun games, is they're supposed to introduce brand new gimmicks to keep the idea of whatever Mario's doing in that genre fresh. And I'm guessing Nintendo just decided to make this game so I like this game due to, like, not only just nostalgia, but I do like the track design and the character sprites and stuff, and it being the very first Mario Kart on the go. That's probably the only thing you could argue this game has going for it, is it was the first Mario Kart on the go. And that's literally the only point you can say. I'm dead ass. Like, that's it. If we were to argue about which Mario Kart would be the best, Super Circuit would be, like, nowhere in that field. Dead ass. You would... I can guarantee you... I can't say, like... I can guarantee no one's favorite game is this game, because there's probably somebody out there that their favorite Mario Kart is Super Circuit. But, like, I guarantee you, even the Super Circuit diehard fans, right, would tell you that there's better Mario Karts than this one in the Mario Kart franchise. Dead ass. And on top of that, if you're having, like, a friendly conversation with tons of your buddies and you guys all played Mario Kart, are you really going to bring Super Circuit to the table and say, hey, that was a banger-ass Mario Kart? Like, who the fuck even remembers this one? Like, let's be honest, this one is quite forgettable due to it not really bringing anything other than it being the very first Mario Kart to be able to be played anywhere that isn't your fucking house. And then later on, Mario Kart 8 would have the Switch, and you can bring that shit outside. So pretty much everything relevant about this Mario Kart just kind of falls out the fucking window, you know, once you start really looking down at it and all that stuff. And just because I played Mario Kart 8 and stuff and played this one doesn't mean this game is bad. Matter of fact, there is a certain charm with this game that you won't get in other Mario Karts. Like, the fact that this was the first Mario Kart that you can play outside your home, before the Switch even existed, before the DS existed, you know, that to carry on Super Circuit's legacy and do more with it. You know, it was the first Mario Kart you can play outside your house and go to people's houses and whip up your Game Boy SPs and say, let's play some fucking Mario Kart. But at that point, you probably would have been like, yo, you want to play some Double Dash or some Mario Kart 64 at that point if you're doing it at your homie house. But this game does have, like, a special charm for anybody that loved Super Mario Kart and, like, specifically loved Super Mario Kart. Like, and I mean that, like, as in, like, they love it and cherish it type of way, and they only want this type of gameplay style for Mario Kart. If you're looking for something that is similar to Super Mario Kart, this is like the best game you're gonna get. Super Circuit is really the best game you're gonna get in this scenario. I can't tell you any other Mario game like Mario Kart Tour doesn't fit that bill, 8 doesn't fit it, 7 doesn't fit it, Double Dash and Wii don't fit it. This is like the closest thing you're gonna get to Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, like for the NES. If you really are looking for a game that's pretty much like it, you can pretty much say Super Circuit is pretty much Super Mario Kart 2 as well. You can pretty much say that because of the flat level design, the enhanced sprites, the enhanced music, and so on and so forth, right? And I know I've been repeating myself for a good 5 minutes now, but it's just the truth about Super Mario Kart Super Circuit for me. And because I remember when I was playing Super Circuit, I couldn't help but feel this way after a while. Like, feel like it's just Super Mario Kart again. You know, I couldn't help that feeling I have. Because sometimes I kind of go off my own feelings sometimes when I'm playing a game. Obviously, I go off my feelings all the time when I play a game. You guys know that. Why do you think it's called my experience? It's my experience for a reason. I go off. By the way, like the video, please. I would very much appreciate that. And by the way, thank you, Ouija, for saying W stream. Like the video, please. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, that's like really my honest to God thoughts. And even if the track layout is flat, two-dimensional, some of these tracks that they have in this game are still pretty hard to navigate through, race through. The usual Mario Kart shenanigans could happen. And also, this game also keeps a stupid-ass fucking tradition, which is allowing the player to well, not stupid, but excuse me, allowing the player to retry the track if you get like 5th to 6th place. You're not allowed to continue that course unless you get 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You know what I mean? Unless you get one of those places in Super Circuit as well, it won't allow you to continue to the next race. Unlike later Mario Kart games where whatever place you get, you're going to move on to the next course. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. So I wanted to let everyone know that before, we get some shit rolling. And on top of that, there is no unlockable characters in the game. Literally, what you have is what you have throughout the entirety of the game. You don't unlock new characters, new karts. You're pretty much playing with characters with already adjusted stats. And see, this is another thing I can't appreciate Super Circuit for, right, is when you look at the roster here, right, they will give you the speed and weight, so they'll give you like little stats for each and every single one of these characters. Mario Kart 64 did not do this, and it's actually in the manual for Mario Kart 64 and other Mario Kart games what the character's stats are. And Mario Kart Wii will actually, I think, be the first or maybe the second game, because I think Double Dash also did this too. You can comment and quote me on that if I'm wrong, but about what I'm saying right here in this bit. But like, I think this is either the first Mario Kart game or the second Mario Kart game. Added the whole stats thing, and I actually really like the stats because it allows you to be like, okay, let me pick the perfect character. Because in Mario Kart 64, you wouldn't know, or even this game, you wouldn't know Peach is the fastest until you look at her character and see her stats. In this game, in Super Circuit anyway, you'll get to see that Peach's speed is like 4 stars or 5 stars or something like that. You'll get to see that in this game. But in comparison to Mario Kart 64, in Mario Kart 64, you won't know that shit. It's probably because they weren't thinking about the stats and they wanted players to find out who's the best character, who's the best to kind of race with, and so on and so forth. But also Peach is like worse for drifting, and also Toad is probably like, I don't know, I think the better in terms of drifting in Mario Kart 64, if I'm not mistaken. But Dear God, forgive me for not liking the stream. A lightning strike targeted an ant 2 millimeters beside me. God damn, bro. Shit, dude. I would be reacting so different about that thunderstorm and shit. But I think I got the point out that what Super Mario Kart is. It's a lesser Mario Kart 64. It's a combination of Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 in some aspects. And I think it's like one of the last few Mario Karts where they're basically using the N64 type deals before they move to the next, like Mario Kart DS, which I think I will be talking about next. I just got to play it a little bit and kind of before I get all my thoughts gathered up about it and the track design, the level design, so on and so forth. But anyways, guys, this isn't going to be a long my experience. I just wanted to talk about Super Mario Kart for a little bit because I kind of delayed this my experience. I should have done it beforehand, but I didn't get to because I was thinking of other things and so on and so forth, just trying to get some videos out and all that other Mongo Mimbo jazz and stuff like that. But if you guys did enjoy my experience with Super Mario Kart, it's still, final thoughts, it's still a good game, but just keep in mind that it is not as crazy as 8, it's not as crazy as 7. Think of it as Super Mario Kart 2, okay, like the sequel to Super Mario Kart, you know, on the NES. Just think of it that way, and don't think of it as anything crazier than that, because it isn't. And I think the AI also cheat in this game as well. Like, they get stars to kind of keep up behind you in later CCs, or maybe they chilled out with that. I can't guarantee that. But anyways, ciao, guys. Play Alan. Have you ever heard of Voodoo Vents? No, I have not. Is it a Roblox map? Yeah, but again, Super Mario Kart or Mario Kart Super Circuit's pretty alright game. It's pretty straight. Yeah, that's it. That's it from your boy. Peace. Oh, also, check out my Sonic Adventure Tails and Knuckles live streams, because I spent a while on those, and I would appreciate if y'all check those out. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Luigi, go green. Bye-bye.